I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be about how I'm starting really to not trust the spiritual community. I'm spiritual. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Jesus. I believe God and the devil are within, but I used to watch a lot of spiritual people, but now it feels like sometimes they don't either, like, they might be right about a little bit of stuff, and the rest they don't know what they're talking about, or like, I don't know, they're not truly spiritual. Like, they just know about like woke stuff, right? Like, oh, the government, or don't go to doctors, holistic health. They know about the basics, but they don't know about like the real stuff. Or I don't know, sometimes it's like spirituality is starting to become the new religion, right? I'm gonna give y'all this story. A lot of and y'all gotta be careful, especially with social media on the rise. And you're gonna see like a lot of spiritual celebrities and just a lot more spiritual content creators coming up. But a lot of these people be like, either be lying, or they just don't be who they say they are, and I feel like there's two parts to us. Like, we have the ego, right? The lower self and the higher self. And I feel like spirituality isn't about not having a lower self. I feel like that's like, it's not about being perfect. I feel like it's about like balancing it out, right? Like, I don't really drink or smoke like that, but if the opportunity came about, I would, right? But like, the spiritual people who say you can't hang around people, you shouldn't hang around people who aren't on your wavelength, or don't drink, don't smoke, right? Don't go to parties, don't pick up girls, or don't go on like, I don't know, just whatever, right? Just like all these rules. But I think it should be like, yeah, go and drink, but don't do it all day, every day. So it's just stuff like that. I feel like, you got to be careful with looking up to these spiritual people, because sometimes I feel like they're only showing you certain things. They're not being honest about everything. And, I'm on my walk when I was walking here, and I was thinking about it. It's almost like I don't believe in the Bible, like what it says, but I believe some stuff of what it says. Like I believe some stuff in the Bible is true, but it's almost like the Bible, when the Bible said that in the last days, or the end days, and I truly do believe the world's coming to an end, but I can make a video about that if y'all want. But the Bible said to be careful with false prophets and idols. And I feel like that's basically social media, right? With people showing us, them living this one lifestyle, or they say they're doing this, doing that, but off camera, they a whole nother person. They're a whole nother thing. And, of course, there's nothing wrong with doing things that are like lower, right? Like, what's one of my things? I'm not a perfect person, and I don't claim to be, right? Like, I got my flaws. I got the things that's wrong with me, but I'm honest about it, And y'all can see that. But I don't know, it becomes a problem because I feel like some spiritual people have it where they think they like, how can I explain it? They think they act like they're trying to, like, they're saving people, or I don't know, they act like they're a prophet. It's just very weird. So I'm gonna get into it. First off, some of the spiritual stuff that be going around, I just be looking like, what? Like, that don't even make any sense. Like, I remember when I was 17 and I was getting into it, I was in this one spiritual community, and no, I was starting to go in the spiritual group chats, and I was just starting to be around all different people. There's all these different spiritual people, And of course, I wasn't in the spiritual group chats that long because, like I'm telling y'all, like a lot of these spiritual people really ain't really spiritual. Like, I feel like this day and age, and this is why y'all gotta stay off of social media. Like, y'all gotta, make sure y'all getting outside. Cause, it's social media. I think it can be helpful, and it's a good way to make money. But nah, like a lot of stuff, like hosts, it's just so social media is just not. It's not the real world, but it would be stuff like, wait, what was I saying? Okay. With social media, like, I would be on these spiritual communities, and it's like a lot of those people in the communities, it's like they was like, they would wear the unks and stuff, but it's like they just seemed off, like some of them were narcissistic, or I don't know, they just believed everything that all the other spiritual people said, but some of the stuff that the spiritual people said didn't even make any sense. Like, there was this, I don't know if y'all remember this, right? But there was this one spiritual thing that went around, right? Like in the beginning. And some people said that white people didn't have souls, right? Only black people had souls. And, now looking back, I do believe there are people here that are soulless because I believe life is a game. But I don't think to say every white person doesn't have a soul just sounds retarded to me. And it was like a lot of spiritual people going around saying that. Or I remember there was even some spiritual people saying that white people aren't, and I can get, like, they're saying that white people are unnatural, or they're saying that white people were made from a lab. Like, people really think this stuff. White people were made from a lab, and they were mixed with like dog and animal. Like, this is some real stuff, y'all. They would say that in the spiritual community. So that's one reason why I used to go out, because I used to think like, oh, let me meet like like-minded people. But I don't know, sometimes I'd be thinking like, because a lot of spiritual people that I meet, and it's like I can really relate to this. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like a lot of spiritual people that I met had tough childhoods, right? They had hard childhoods. They was either bullied, or what else? They either had the black sheep of the family, didn't have a lot of friends growing up, or I don't know, they just ended up like kind of being unhappy later on. And I feel like a lot of people in the spiritual community kind of like would start to make spirituality their like identity, right? Like, oh, I'm meditating all the time, just stuff like that. I don't know, like the spiritual community you see online is like, it's not the same anymore, and the thing is, spirituality wasn't even something that was like, oh, like back in the day, before, the pandemic, spirituality was very low-key, very underground, because a lot of people thought that stuff was crazy. Because, like saying stuff like, and me personally, most people who wear these spiritual stuff or begin these spiritual tats, they don't even really know what it means. Like, they still probably go to church. They still probably pray to something outside of them. I do pray, but when I pray, I'm praying to like my higher self. I'm praying to, the God in me. But a lot of people that's in this spiritual stuff, I feel like they don't really understand what spirituality really is or what it really means. To be honest, I feel like spirituality isn't even that deep, or it's not even that big of a thing. I feel like spirituality is basically self-love and you just being connected to yourself, right? Because think about it, right? Like, what is the things that people say with spirituality? A big part of spirituality is self-care, healing yourself, and just stuff like that. All forms of self-love. I feel like all spirituality is getting back to yourself, but a lot of people try to put so many rules and stuff on it. And that's why it's like so dangerous with, well, not dangerous, but like that's why it's so want to say dangerous, but that's why it's kind of just so, it's just so much misinformation now, right? Like, or just so much stuff to throw you off of what spirituality really is. Like, a lot of people say connect with deities, or what else, wear the crystals, but sometimes a lot of it is like, what am I, like, it's coming to me, but I don't know how to say it. Be patient with me, y'all. But it's like, a lot of the times, it's like, the stuff that these crystals can do is the stuff that you can do for yourself if you really take care of yourself. Or if you really look in and get the answers for yourself. Or if you really just go to a certain therapist, right? The ones that know what they're talking about. Because every therapist don't know what they're talking about. Like, I'm telling y'all, this world just be lying. Or connecting with deities. Like, that's another thing. I mean, some people do say it, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But, I mean, we already did a breakdown on it. But, like, on spiritual creators, like, there's this one guy named Vaughn Tucut. And I ain't going to talk too much about him because, like I said, I don't know him. But some of the stuff he says, like, because I'm not going to just talk about him all the way. Some of the stuff he says, like, about women, like, how they get girls, I do feel like he's telling the truth, like, truth on that. Like, I would listen to him about women, diet, because he looks healthy. Like, you can tell when somebody looks healthy. Like, he looks strong. He looks muscular. Like, diet, workouts, and money, because, I don't get the vibe. Like, he does seem like he's a go-getter. He does seem ambitious, right? So, with those 4 things, like, with the human stuff, I feel like, yeah, he has that down. Like, he's right about that. But some of the stuff he was saying, like, he be saying, or just his vibe, like, I'm not gonna say he's fake spiritual, but just some of the stuff he says, because I remember one time I went on a call with him, because I was just about to ask a question real quick. And I feel like I'm going to get, like, if this video goes up, I feel like people just going to talk about me. But, like, this is real stuff. Like, I don't know, like, just the vibe that I get from him. He would be the type that he would be, now he's the type of person, how I was talking about some people, spiritual people believe they're saviors. He would be, well, I don't want to say that, but I don't know. He just seems like he would be the type that will look down on people, right? Or he would be the type to think that he's better than people. Now he would be the type that will have an ego in spirituality. Now he's one of those people, right? Like, I don't know, just something about him. I'm not gonna, like, I don't get a bad person from him. Like, I don't get the vibe that he's a bad person, but I don't know. I just get this vibe from Vaughn Tucut that, like, I don't know, he opened up and he told the truth about some of the stuff he said, but I don't know, I just feel like I get the vibe from Vaughn Tucut, like, he wouldn't be all the way honest about something, or, like, I don't know, like, not that he's hiding something, but I don't know, like, that he would kind of just be lie about stuff, like he could be someone that, like, let's say it's a friendship or a relationship, right? And, they fall out or whatever, or, I don't know, just something goes wrong. I feel like he would be the type to say, nah, that person was tripping, or that person, like, that person was wrong, or that person was just wilding out, but really, he did something, like, he might have stabbed him in the back, or, I don't know, like, he just did something effed up to him, but he would, like, lie about it, right? I don't know, like, I just get that vibe from him. Like, I don't get I'm not saying he's a liar, but I don't know, it's just something, like, I don't know how to explain it, bruh. But I used to watch his videos, like, but I wasn't really watching his spiritual videos, because I don't know, like, sometimes some of the stuff he used to say in his videos, I ain't gonna lie, some of it just sounded like he just read it from a book or got it from somewhere else, because that's the same stuff I was, like, seeing from other people. But yeah, I used to watch his videos, and just some of the stuff he said about spirituality and stuff like that, it just, I don't know, man. It just didn't seem like he really knew what he was talking about, or it just seemed like it was from something else, or it just, I don't know. It didn't seem all the way right. But, you know, at the same time, I could be wrong because, you know, he has money, but at the same time, you just don't know. You know, that's one thing I'm learning about this social media age is like, you can't put nothing past anyone. You know, you can't really, even me, like if this channel goes up, like I wouldn't even, you can't even put nothing past me, but I'm very open with y'all. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I did some messed up things to people, but you know, I don't come on here like I'm a savior. I never come on here like I do see myself like because I don't know what I want to do yet. But, you know, if I end up being a therapist or just whatever, like if I end up being like what else, like a coach, a trainer, or a health person, right? Like it wouldn't be like in a savior way. Like I don't know, but I feel like I'm talking too much. Let me go to the next person. Then Illuminati. I'm gonna be honest, he woke me up. He got me started on this spiritual path. He's the reason why I started meditating. And some of his videos, they definitely was helpful in the beginning, but it's like after a while his videos just started to get really repetitive, and then it just seemed like he kind of was starting to have like an ego. Like he was kind of starting to think that he was better than people, right? Like he would say, you know, if somebody was doing this or somebody was doing that, they were a bot, or you know, if you didn't think the same way as him or what he was thinking, it's like you were dumb or just something like that. But I feel like with spirituality, you know, I feel like a part of self-love, because that's all spirituality is like just realizing that everyone has a different path than you. And, you know, now that doesn't mean you got to talk to them. You don't got to be cool with that person. But I feel like you should just respect the life that everyone lives, because that's might be what they meant to do. That might be their purpose. You know, some people's purpose might be to, you know, I don't remember, but some people's purpose just might not be what you think is normal, and that's okay. You don't gotta talk to them, but I don't think you should ever think you're better than someone. You know what I mean? Because you know you're living a certain life and they're not. So you know it was just stuff like that. And then I talked about this before. I'm gonna talk about this shortly. But he came up with this video, right? It was his girlfriend, and I think they still together. And I know y'all might say like, you know, women are naturally more submissive when it comes to relationships, or men are supposed to lead. But y'all must be single, bro, because a relationship is not supposed to be like that. Like it's supposed to be balanced. Like I know I talk about this couple a lot, and well, I don't even, because I don't want to. This couple was cool though. There's this married couple. They're spiritual. They're real low key, but they're together, and you know, it's a man and a woman, and you could tell that it's balanced. Like it's not like the woman isn't just being quiet and listening. Like it's like a balance. Like I feel like a relationship is kind of like a partnership. Like it's kind of like a balance, you know, like not one person controls everything, and not one person, you know, just shuts up and does what the other person says. And in the video, because I already touched on this, like I said, it's like she was kind of his servant in a way, you know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like he kind of, I don't want to say he was bullying her, but it's kind of like, you know, she was just agreeing to everything he said, and I don't know, something was just very off. Like with spiritual, so I kind of get the vibe of like just an ego, you know, someone who, someone who thinks they're better than other people, and just not a good, the way he looks at women. I feel like somebody like that, when they get into a relationship, he would probably look at women as like, I don't know, like she has to just shut up and go with whatever. Like, you know, just like a very toxic masculinity mindset, you know, and that's how most guys think probably. Well, not most guys, but, you know, there are still some guys like that, and, you know, that's them. But it just becomes a problem when you say you're supposed to be spiritual and you see everyone as God, but, you know, you don't act like that. It would be different if this was a regular guy and he wasn't spiritual. Then if he treats women like that, it's like, oh, okay. You know, but when you're spiritual, like, you're supposed to be different. So, you know, yeah, I just get that vibe from Spiritual Soul. You know, just that toxic masculinity. Who else? I feel like, are there any other big spiritual creators? I don't even know, because now there's this, or just the spiritual people who talk about star seeds, chosen ones. I don't know, some of the stuff I be seeing, like, I can't even, I think I seen this one video and it said that, like, wisdom, like, you should never get your teeth removed because your teeth are like crystals or something. I don't know, man. Or what else did I say? I think one time in the spiritual community, what else did they say? I think they said that, like, to think, cause I feel like I heard so much spiritual, like, crazy stuff in this community. This video is getting long, so I don't know. I might touch on it in the next video if I can't get to it in this video. But, or what else? Like, something about the Anunnaki, right? Just aliens, or when they say that, like, the world, I don't know. Like, it's just a lot of crazy stuff you hear in the spiritual community. And what else? Young Pharaoh. I think he was the one that started the rumor about white people. I already did a video on Young Pharaoh, but I know he was very popular in the spiritual community. And look what happened to him. 3 years later, he lost his mind. Like, I can't trust this. Like, a lot of these spiritual people, I feel like a lot of, like, it's just weird. I think I'm gonna end the video off of this. But all I'm gonna say is, if y'all having a spiritual awakening and you know, y'all want some answers, or y'all want some guidance, I wouldn't even go to social media. I wouldn't go to ChatGPT, because a lot of it is either new age or misinformation. And a lot of the people in the spiritual community, I hate to say it, but they're not even spiritual. And I'm gonna just cut y'all off of this. Like, when I don't even really look for friends anymore, but when I used to look for friends, I used to look for spiritual people to be friends with, but I had to stop doing that, because it's like a lot of people just know about, like, surface level stuff. They might know about chakras or crystals, but other than that, it's nothing else. They don't really know anything that will really change your life. Like, nothing about soul contracts, healing yourself, healing your inner kid. In fact, I think I'm gonna leave it off at this. But I remember I had this one person I used to work for. She was an entrepreneur, and she was spiritual. And of course, it's like, she was like, she had the big crystal, but she had a lot of anger issues. She got mad real fast. She would yell a lot. You know, she still ate, like, cheap, like, you know, processed foods. So, you know, you just gotta be very careful. Now with friends, I don't even really have friends, but if I do look for friends, I would just try to look for it like with the hobby. Like, you know, if I see someone playing basketball or working out, like if I see someone who is into the same stuff like me, or, you know, they don't really like working, they don't really go to college, just stuff like that, or people who are goofy, because a lot of people in the spiritual community are fake spiritual, or it's surface level, or, you know, it's the new age, not the true stuff of it. So yeah, y'all, yeah, just stay off of social media. You know, don't be believing these spiritual people. And yeah, that's it, y'all. Got one more part. So then I was looking on YouTube at this reading about there was this tarot reader, and she was doing a reading on this couple, and I don't want to say the couple's name because I'm gonna say it. So it was basically Von Tucut and Alyssa Tiana, and I don't want to seem like I'm just trying to bash him, you know, but they could be on the good right path, and I hope we all just tapped in right. And this is strictly what she said. And in the reading, she was just talking about their relationship, and she said that his music was horrible, and this was a tarot reader. She was doing a reading on them, and then she said that a part of his body stank. Now, I don't know if he stinks. Me personally, I don't think he stinks. He seems like he smells good. I don't know too much about the guy. You know, I don't know how he smells. I mean, to be honest, he don't even seem like he has a smell to him. But she said that he seemed like his balls. It was either his balls that stink or his hair stinked. And when she said that, I was like it's one thing to do a reading on someone, but how do you know if somebody's balls stink? Or like, how are you spiritual but like calling someone's music bad? Like, I don't listen to his music. I don't really know too much about that, but I don't know, man. Like, this spiritual community, it like I said, it's just not. It's not how it once was, you know. And me personally, I'm starting to think that social media might be what the Bible said when it talks about the false prophet, because social media now is like, I'm gonna do another video on that. That might be the next video, or 3 videos down, because I got so many ideas. But yeah, she's like how do you know somebody's balls stink? Like, what? Like, what type of, like, bruh, just think about it. What type of reading is that? Like, his balls stink. Like, what? She could have said his underarms, his feet, but his balls, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's spirit. Like, some of the stuff in the reading, though, I think I could see it, because she was basically saying a little bit of the stuff I was saying. But now when you talk about calling somebody, like, somebody's music person, like, trash, or somebody's like stinking, that kind of lost me. I was like, what the, like, I still watched it because I was like kind of interested, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, what the. But yeah, so that's it for this video. Stay off of social media, man. Do this. Go outside, y'all, because social media will have you